Imagine being able to actually send an automated email to anyone who books a call on your calendar. So, this automation can be used in a variety of different ways depending on how that particular person answers questions on your booking link form. So, you can send a super customized email saying, "Thank you for booking a call, and I look forward to speaking to you on XYZ date." Or it could be something as far as maybe that you're looking at budget and you asked about budget on your form, and maybe they don't meet those guidelines, and you say something to the effect that, based upon these answers, I'm not going to be able to service you with the service that you are actually looking for, but I actually have these other lower tiered items within my business that may be of use for you. So that way, you as a business owner can actually save your time. There's nothing more frustrating than jumping on a discovery call with somebody, spending 45 minutes to an hour talking about your business and how you can help someone, and then they say, "Well, this all sounds great, but I don't have the budget." So this is one particular use case that this automation can be used for, and this is the example that I'm actually going to show you here. So if you want to learn how to send automated emails whenever someone actually books a call in your calendar, continue on. In the meantime, if you like this video and you want these automations for yourself, just to let you know, I actually have all of my automations in automated content engine for one-time fee. It's not a membership, one-time fee. I upload everything that I've uploaded here on YouTube with all the templates and blueprints for make.com. If you're interested, I'll drop the link down below. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into today's tutorial.
Okay, so let's hop right into today's tutorial for this discovery call segmentation. As you can see, that it's not really that long and we're only using a couple of different things here. So as you can see, I have Gmail and I'm also using ChatGPT. So with Gmail, you can actually have make.com watch your emails, watch all of the emails coming in, and that's how I have this actually set up. You're just going to have a Google connection if you're using Gmail. If you do not use Gmail, you can actually use another function, which is just email on make.com, but since I have a Gmail account, that's what I actually have. And so what I actually have is I have my Gmail account connected and I want it to be searching in the inbox, meaning that whenever something comes in based upon these filters, it is actually going to work. So I actually have the filter type here. I have Gmail filter versus simple filter here. And this is specific to the emails that come from my booking link. So I use moxie.com and this is the way they usually come in with the subject line. So I have discovery call and I want to make sure it is from my CRM. So my CRM is Moxie, so I put in that email that comes from Moxie whenever I get a book call. When you have this automation up and running, you want to make sure that the maximum number of results that are coming in is set to 1. When I was testing this, I actually pulled in more than 1 result just because I wanted to make sure that the filter was actually working correctly. So after that, what is going to happen is that you're going to add a module in here for ChatGPT or any other large language model that you use to extract the first name. The way that my discovery form emails are set up is everything comes into the email, but you can't just pull one line off of that particular email. So what I have here for these prompts here, I have a couple of different ones. I have 4 messages here. The first one is role, and I want to make sure that this is an experienced email writer. The second one is a user, and I want it to extract the first name of the invitee from the following text. So this text content is coming from my email here. So you can see a little bit here saying that a new meeting has been scheduled, and I want them to pull the invitee, meaning the person who actually booked that call, from the email. Next, we're moving on to user. And what I actually have in here, this is just information on what a form looks like in the email. So this is all kind of jumbled up, obviously, but this is just the information about the invitee and the time that the call is for. And it also gives information here. So this is some of my test information that I put in. It also gives information here based upon what your questions are. So as you can see, my questions are, what are your primary goals for your social media marketing campaign? What's your budget? You can see all that in here. So I want ChatGPT to extract the first name out of here, okay? Next, for message 4, I have this as a user. And once again, I have the text content. This is probably redundant because this is going to pull in the exact same thing that I copied and pasted here, but it works. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And then we also have max tokens. So I only have 500 because we're just pulling a first name here. The write custom reply, this is going to be based upon what you actually want to set this as. So for this particular example, I have it set towards budget. So I want it to focus on numbers. So I made sure in all of my forms that I have on Moxie that all my numbers were uniform in how they were written. So that way I could use this automation for whatever form that I'm using. So basically what I'm saying is that you're monitoring an email inbox that receives discovery calls for lead generation business I own. And I've given it the task of reading the discovery intake form and producing a high quality and customized email response. In return, gently declining the call if their budget response is none, 0 to 500, or 500 to 1,000. But at the same time, suggesting other lower cost alternatives in my product suite that may help them with lead generation. So I also gave instruction on not using any unnecessary language. You know, ChatGPT always likes to say, sure, here is your email, or it gives you a little introduction or whatever else. I don't need any of that. I just want the email. And I've also written here at the very bottom that I wanted to make sure that this email was in proper HTML format. Do not include HTML at the beginning of the email because I had some test emails that had that. And this little line here is working well to format these emails properly. I also wanted to write a proper subject line for each email and then end each email with a salutation of warm regards, Nachole. Okay, this one here is important too because it was doing fine writing the emails when I didn't have that in here. But what it would do is it would give the salutation of warm regards, and then it would have the brackets with your name, right? So we don't need it to say your name. We actually need it to say your name. So in this case, my name is Nachole, so I want it to say Nachole, and it's working well. Okay, I also have this here as a system role, as an experienced email writer. Message 3 is a user, and once again, I have the information from the actual email, and same with number 4, same thing, but I have it actually pulling in with that text content from the actual email itself versus copying and pasting it. For here, I have given it 1,000 tokens because it is actually writing the email. All right, next is I need to extract the email. Just like I extracted the first name, I need it to extract the email because we need to know where to actually send this back to. So as you can see, system, experienced email writer, role, extract the email from the following text. Okay, and I didn't put that in here. So we're going to put that here. Text content. Okay, and so once again, I have that information here. And actually, looks like I have that twice. Extract the email. No, I don't. Okay, so this one says extract the email from the following text, and then I have the text content. And then This one here is just copying and pasting. And then right here, I want the assistant to actually find the email. So I gave it an example of an email. And then once again, we have the text content. Like I said, this may be redundant. You can test it on your own if you want, but it's working just fine for me as it is now. So I'm just gonna leave it and not mess up anything. Okay, so right here I have a sleep module. And originally I had this module in because this automation can be automatically sent anytime someone books a call. And I had a sleep function in for maybe a minute and 30 seconds, somewhere around there. So it doesn't look so automated, right? And someone books a call and then 2 seconds later they get an email from you. So I had it waiting, right? Before it actually sent the email. So this is not necessarily necessary if you're going to do the automation the way that I'm going to show you now, as in creating a draft versus actually sending off an email. Because when I was testing this and I was going through and testing and making sure that the email was written correctly and everything, it pulled in discovery calls from old discovery calls that I'd had, because that's the way I did it, because I wanted to make sure everything was working well and it's pulling in the right email. So it was pulling in old discovery calls I'd already had with prospective clients or clients, and it was writing the email for them. And what would happen, instead of going into draft, some of the emails accidentally went to the prospective clients or previous clients that I had, and it's really kind of embarrassing. So I suggest, while you are working on this yourself, that you have some safeguards in place so you're not accidentally emailing somebody something embarrassing, all right? So on this automation, I have this set at a draft right now, and that's the reason I have this sleep function here too. So this is not necessarily necessary, especially if you have this draft, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I have on the draft, okay? So the draft. So what is happening? You want to make sure that you're sending it to the drafts folder. So you have this option here, obviously. Sending it to the drafts folder in your email. And that to email address, that should be the email that is extracted from here. But since this automation is in test mode, I'm just using my email address. And it's kind of like a double safeguard for me, since I embarrassed myself by having those emails sent automatically when I was testing. So this is kind of like a secondary safeguard here. But anyways, this email address will be this email address here. And what you will need to do is actually extract email. So you're going to have the choices and message and content. So that is what you're going to put there versus the email address that you see here, okay? And as far as subject lines, the emails that were coming out were great, and the subjects sometimes went not on the subject line, but they went inside the email. So the subject line would be blank, and then in the email it would say subject line and then the actual email. So to avoid that, I just said, screw, trying to actually put the subject line where it needs to be. So these emails don't actually have subject lines that they are actually writing. So I just put a generic subject line here. Thank you for your interest. Okay, that can be anything. And then right here, I have the content. So the content that goes here is going to actually be the custom reply that you had ChatGPT write for you. And you are going to put that there. So that, if we put that there, you see that that's the same exact thing. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. Okay, and that's all we have for this create a draft module. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this scenario once so you guys can see. So as you can see right now, I have 18 drafts in my email account. And if I push this button and everything works correctly, it should bump up to 19. So let's do this. Okay, so as you can see, everything went through the way it should have gone through here on Make. And we're going to actually go and, well, this way we can see information here. You can see that I actually have information. I have subject discovery call here, and I'm not going to click on this here because I just want to value people's privacy with their answers that they put in. So we'll go ahead and exit out of here, but we're going to go to my drafts folder, still 18, but we need to refresh it. Okay, now you see that I have 19. And so I have the email here. So this is the way I'm suggesting this works, right? So someone books a call on your calendar, you go ahead and have this email drafted up and put it in your draft folder. And then when you go in, you just double check it to make sure everything is legit. You know, because some people may write something on a form that, and there's more to it, right? So they may write that they do not have a budget per se yet, but maybe they just came into an inheritance, or maybe they just got funded, or their check is on the way, or something like that. You never know. But anyways, so let's go ahead and look at this particular email. We can say, thank you for your interest in working with us and sharing details about your business, right? So this is a custom email that you can actually share. So and this one specifically does say, because we're talking about your marketing budget, since your marketing budget is actually listed as none, we are unable to schedule a discovery call at this time. However, I recommend checking out our lower cost options, such as our social media package starting at $300 monthly, which may fit your needs as you embark on your marketing journey. Okay. And then it goes on. You know, this is something that's a gentle thing, right? Like I said earlier, you as a business owner, your time is the most valuable thing that you have. And you want to make sure you're protecting your time as well as other people's time. So if you know that you would not be able to offer the greatest quality, the greatest work, whatever service that they're looking for that price, that budget, then there's really no need to waste their time and waste your time. Okay, so you can customize this to whatever you want, but I just think this is a pretty cool automation, considering the fact that, you know, this does not have to be focused on budget. This can be focused on maybe the type of business that they have. Maybe someone came to you and you work with only certain types of businesses, and they have a business that is completely out of your realm. You don't know anything about that industry. You don't feel comfortable working with that industry. You could most definitely, you know, tell them right then and there that, you know, hey, this is kind of out of my scope. Maybe I can recommend you to a colleague of mine or something else, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this automation here, and make very simple to put together. You can get this done pretty easily. In the meantime, if you have any questions about anything, leave me a comment. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have done so already, and I'll see you in the next video.